He was born in Gary, Indiana, in 1958. A small boy in a tiny house, in a working-class African-American family who would one day grow into the most famous entertainer the world has ever seen. Michael Joseph Jackson's journey did not begin with stadiums full of fans, flashing lights, or diamond-studded jackets. It began with a dream, and a voice that could silence a room. From the very start, Michael stood out. At just 6 years old, he joined his brothers in a group called the Jackson 5. Their father, Joseph Jackson, was strict. Sometimes. It's too strict. He pushed the children hard, rehearsing them until midnight, drilling every note and every move. For Michael, childhood was never normal. But those endless hours of practice turned him into something extraordinary. By the late 1960s, little Michael was already stealing hearts on stage, dancing with an energy no one had ever seen before. By the 1970s, Michael was breaking free. While his brothers were still part of the act, he was carving his own identity. He released songs like Ben, the touching ballad about a pet rat that showed the world just how much emotion that young boy could pour into a song. But this was only the beginning. Then came the 1980s, the decade that made him immortal. In 1982, Michael released Thriller. No one expected what was about to happen. This wasn't just an album, it was a cultural earthquake. Thriller became the best-selling album in history, with hits like Beat It, Billie Jean, and the 14-minute mini-movie for Thriller itself. Suddenly, music videos were not just simple performances. They became cinematic events. People didn't just listen to Michael Jackson, they watched him and then there was the moonwalk! In 1983, during a live television performance of Billie Jean, Michael slid backwards as if gravity itself had bent to his will. That single move became iconic, copied endlessly, but never matched. Overnight, he wasn't just a singer, he was a magician of music and dance. But behind the glittering glove and the dazzling smile, Michael was also an innovator. He dreamed big, sometimes impossibly big. He patented special shoes that allowed him to lean forward at impossible angles, creating the mind-bending illusion in Smooth Criminal. He built a fantasyland, Neverland Ranch, filled with roller coasters, animals, and a world where he could live the childhood he never truly had. He even kept unusual pets, a chimpanzee named Bobbles, who traveled the world with him, and llamas who lived on his ranch. Michael wasn't just about music and spectacle. He cared deeply for children, for the poor, and for the suffering. He donated millions to hospitals, charities, and humanitarian causes. After a tragic accident during a Pepsi commercial in which his hair caught fire, he took the $1.5 million settlement and gave it to a hospital to build a burn unit. He wore a black armband in public to remind the world of children suffering everywhere. The Guinness Book of World Records later recognized him as the most charitable pop star of all time. Yet, his life was not without darkness. The same fame that lifted him to unimaginable heights also trapped him. His appearance began to change. He was diagnosed with vitiligo, a disease that caused his skin to lose its pigment. But tabloids twisted the truth, claiming he was bleaching his skin. He endured countless rumors, ridicule, and cruel jokes. His relationships were scrutinized. His every move was magnified. And then, the allegations began. Accusations of child abuse shattered his reputation. Court cases dragged on for years. Though he was never convicted, the cloud of suspicion never fully left him. For many, he was a symbol of hope and art. For others, he was a mystery wrapped in controversy. But through it all, Michael continued to create. He dreamed of owning Marvel Comics, just so he could play Spider-Man on the big screen. He auditioned for roles like Professor X He collaborated with legends across music, from Paul McCartney to Eddie Van Halen. He blurred the lines between genres, races, and generations. Then came 2009. Michael was preparing for a massive comeback tour. This is it. Tickets sold out in minutes. The world was ready to see their king return to the stage. But on June 25th, in Los Angeles, news broke that Michael Jackson had died of cardiac arrest at the age of 50. The internet itself shook Twitter, Wikipedia, news sites, everything crashed under the weight of the world's grief. Millions of fans poured into the streets. Candlelight vigils appeared across continents. For a moment, the entire planet mourned together. Michael Jackson's story is not simple. He was a genius, a pioneer, a philanthropist, and a controversial figure. He gave the world the moonwalk, Thriller, and a legacy of music that still echoes today. He inspired generations to dance, to sing, to believe in magic. Even now, more than a decade after his death, his influence is everywhere. From Super Bowl halftime shows to TikTok dances, from fashion to music, videos, Michael's fingerprint is permanent. The boy from Gary, Indiana, who once dreamed of being loved by the world, became the king of pop. A king who changed music forever, but paid the price of living in a world that never let him be ordinary. His story is a reminder greatness comes with sacrifice, and legends are never truly gone. Because Michael Jackson still lives every time the beat of Billie Jean starts. Every time someone attempts the moonwalk, and every time music brings people together.